something we hope you'll really like.
You're listening to
Creating Daily. Yeah, we're the #1 live streaming show that I'm the host of.
Speaks to me. It's like he's saying what I'm thinking.
Streaming live.
Feel the power! What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Creating Daily. This isn't really an episode. You guys know it. You guys know it's not real. It's not a real episode, okay? I just got a new studio space. Man, it has been crazy. I moved back to the States. I haven't stopped moving. I'm not 100% sure exactly what I've done, but I've been super busy doing something. I don't know what that is. But an opportunity came late last week for me to rent out a studio space here in Wilmington, North Carolina, and I'm super excited about it. I got about a 13 by 14 foot studio. Super cool little spot. I'm pretty excited about it. Ryan said, welcome back to the States. Thank you. It's good to be back. It's good to be back live. It's good to be back going live. I actually canceled my guest for today because I just haven't had time to prepare for guest shows. And also, like I said, late last week, I had this opportunity to move into the studio space. And so I took that opportunity, and now I'm figuring that out and figuring out what this looks like and what I can do with it. So it's a pretty cool space. Like it's a pretty cool spot. I'll show you here in just a second. But yeah, but the thing about it, it is 13 wide, 14 long, or whichever way you want to look at it. But the ceilings are like 20 feet tall, I think, maybe even more. And it's like a warehouse style building. So it's like a metal roof, or tin roof or whatever. And so it was really complicated to figure out how in the world do I cut all the sound out, because there's a ton of flat surfaces. They've built walls in here, like sheetrock or whatever, drywall. And so I was like, how in the world am I going to get all this sound to stop bouncing around? And so when I first came in, and if you look at, I think I recorded on Facebook, I recorded a video, and it was so bad, the echo was so bad, that I actually had to take out my headphones because I was getting a loop back and like confusing my own brain and couldn't talk and all that kind of stuff. So let me know how you're listening. If you're listening with headphones, if you're listening through your phone, let me know how it sounds. If you hear an echo, I kind of still hear a little bit of one, but I think that my Shure SM7B will knock out a lot of that echo. So Nick L over on Bullhorn. Oh, let me see if I can pull this up. I did not set up these Bullhorn chats. Oh, there he goes. He says, love how your live streams become more and more polished every time you go live. Really appreciate that. I am working on trying to get this studio, get it better. Nick says, sounds great to him. Appreciate that, Nick. Thanks for tuning in over on Bullhorn. If you're hanging out over on Ritual Motion or Facebook or wherever, Greg says, sounds great, plus looks great. Thanks. I'm actually changing out cameras. I sold a camera lens and replaced a camera lens with a camera. So I actually switched over to Sony, and I plan on, as I sell more of my gear, my Canon gear, to buy another Sony camera. But I went to the what is it? SV? No, not a Sony. I don't know. V1, SV1, I don't even know what they're called. Hold on, let me look it up. A Sony, what is it? I'm not a camera junkie. Oh, ZV-1. So I went to a Sony ZV-1. I was gonna get the ZE10 or the whatever ZV-E10. I don't know. You guys, all you camera nerds are gonna throw rocks at me, but they didn't have it in stock, so I just went with the one they had in stock. And so far, I'm really impressed with this because I want to do more Amazon Live stuff. And my Canon would not do this. So you see how fast that autofocus is? It's insane. So the Sony, and I'm gonna do Amazon Live and kind of talk about different cameras and different stuff, because right now it doesn't look like much because I don't have anything on this back wall, but this back wall is about 4 feet behind me. I'm gonna put hey, what's up Uncle James in the house? I'm gonna put like a shelf or something back here. I saw like a really cool like big shelf back here, you can put all your little knickknacks, and I don't have any storage in here, so that'd be cool as well. But anyway, I want to do more product videos, And maybe I should do something with my fingernails because I just chew on them. So maybe I should stop doing that, or I just get them out of the shot. But anyway, so this camera is awesome for this kind of stuff, man. You can like really, in my Canon would not do this, and I tried. So yeah, we'll see. But the one thing that I'm trying with this setup that I did not do with my other one is I took away my teleprompter, and I don't know if it's going to be a good move. I might put it back. I still have it. I'm using it. I'm going to show you guys here in a second how I'm using it. But I took away the teleprompter because I've seen a lot of people put their camera lens, like this is my monitor, here's my camera lens. So I'm looking at the top of my monitor, and there's my camera lens. I'm looking at my picture, here's my camera lens. So I guess if you can make like quick note and then look back, quick note, look back. I think looking into a teleprompter is cool. But I like I don't know, like when I watch people who don't have a teleprompter, who don't have that main, looking right into the camera, because when I set up my teleprompter, I have everything on there, right? So I can have my notes and all that, and I'm just like staring into the camera, I feel like for eternity. But I like that more raw, kind of relaxed content, and that I hope to create. So if I'm looking down a little bit or looking to the side and looking at my monitor, reading stuff, in my opinion, as a content creator, or a consumer rather, I kind of enjoy that more than just like tense staring into the camera for 30 minutes like I feel like I have been. So I'm trying it out. It's a little bit different because I'm, a little distracted by all the little monitors going on. But let me show you around. Let me show you what I've got going on. And I appreciate all the feedback in the chat. Sounds good through just phone. Appreciate that, Ryan, for checking that out. And I'm going to listen to it back on headphones because I do repurpose the show for podcasts. So I'm curious to how it sounds. And right now, to me, it sounds like a normal room. I can add more stuff or whatever. And I'm going to do a whole Amazon Live show and talk about all the products that I've used because it's been a decent amount. It's not like a crazy amount, but it's been a pretty decent amount. And also, I'm in a space where it is like not a co-working space, but I guess it kind of is. Like they've taken this church, a nonprofit church that during the pandemic went kind of more online, and they've repurposed it to have people come in. And so they had this studio space. I'm like, I'm going to try it out. So there might be some noise. This is all a good test to see. There's a wall behind me that goes into another larger room. And I'm curious to see at what points and times of days that stuff goes on. So I'll know when to record. So that's a part of a new studio, is trying to figure out all that kind of stuff. All right, so let me run through some shots with you real quick that I'm working on. So I got my main shot here, got my guest shot. Now you'll notice this guest cam is actually in studio. So I have a Shure SM58, which I'm going to replace that with I got a couple Rode Pod mics. I'll show you that setup in a minute, but that is a black background, which is doubling as some kind of a sound absorbent blanket there. So yeah. So anyway, we'll see. James says, I purchased a Guest 2. I'm very interested in experimenting with it. I don't even know what that is. Not sure. But anyway, so you can see that this is a shot right in front of me, which I'm going to show you in just a second. The guest shot, which would be whoever. Also, this shot's in front of me. Now, I haven't set any lighting up. This camera that you're seeing is an old iPhone that I have plugged in. Hopefully that will be replaced with a Sony a camera as well. But right now I just put an old iPhone up there. And let's see. And then here's the overhead cam shot. Now this is my actual iPhone 12. And this is pretty cool. So if I'm doing product videos or whatnot, I can get a different angle. I can come in here and quickly add like a different camera. If I wanted to add a camera, let's see. Let's do whatever. I can do stuff like that if I want to. Or if I want to, if I want to come in here and maybe I should do something with Ecamm eventually, but if I want to come in here and add a camera, let's see, let's just change this up a little bit. Okay, so there's my FaceTime camera. You know what? Actually, that doesn't look bad. I haven't adjusted this or anything, but this is just a regular old FaceTime camera. And you can see that black curtain on the door. This isn't really a horrible shot if I actually wanted to use it, especially a smaller shot like this. Interesting. That was a little mistake find there. Yeah, that's pretty good. So anyway, if I'm doing a product video and I want to come down here and, build this scene out to where I just want to be, maybe I want to be a little Squircle. Who doesn't want to be a Squircle? And I can put it over here and talk about whatever product. So that's kind of cool. And then I can change this camera shot to whatever I want to. So there's that again. Here's my USB camera shot. Or my guest shot. Okay, so we'll see. All right, awesome. Let's see what we got going on here. We got Chris P. Giles says, man, that is so clear. Chris, where are you at, man? Where are you? Look, I saved you a seat. I put your name on it. Where are you at? Actually, that was from the other day when we went live together. Fancy guy, Oculus Quest 2. Okay, VR headset. I don't know anything about VR headsets. I don't know anything about Quest 2. I don't know anything about all that. Sorry, James. Maybe one day. Let's go check our little chat over here in Bullhorn and Ritual Motion. See if we got anybody watching over on these platforms. So this is my overhead shot. And this is my iPhone 12 right here. I think it's a 12. Pretty cool, pretty fun. And then also, once again, look at this autofocus on this Sony. What? This is ridiculous. That is so ridiculous. Anyway, Chris is getting ready for a podcast recording. Whatever, Chris. I bet you $5 if I sent you a link, you'd be here. Maybe I shouldn't bet. Maybe I've spent too much money this week. So that is that. Okay, cool. So let me grab this camera, and I've actually got it on a weird, little grip there. Okay, now let me pull it down. Now this iPhone cable is kind of funky, but we'll see. Now I'm gonna go wide shot here. It's gonna be like a little funky. So here's the studio. So here's a retractable green screen. Pretty stoked on that. I just kept it up for whatever reason. Here's my overhead rig. And once again, I'm going to do an Amazon Live and talk about all these products because these little things are sick and they're pretty inexpensive. Here's my big softbox. Then here's a smaller softbox for that guest table. And you can see my Sony ZV-1 right there. And this is how I have my computer set up on like a little cheap, which maybe I shouldn't set my computer up on a cheap anything, but a little cheap stand there. Then my monitor, my Rodecaster, obviously my microphone, there's my ear, and the most important tool, my Stream Deck. What's up, Monty? Yeah, man, doing a little new studio tour. So this is the new spot. It's got plenty of room in it. Like I even got some room behind me. I got about 4 feet behind me. I got to figure out something to put back there. Those right there. Wait, can I do? Oh, look at me. Here we go. And you see me in the corner too, so you can see all this maneuvering. So those poles right there are Manfrotto power poles. They're called like auto poles. And these things are sick. Actually, let me show you this real quick. And I don't have them set up because I haven't found a good place to set them up, but let me show you. Oh yeah, get that 24 millimeter wide angle. Here we go. So this is the auto pole, and this thing will extend, I believe, to like 12.5 or 13 feet. And it works basically like a little, I need to be on Amazon Live talking about this because if you guys go buy one, I want to make some money off of it. But you basically just pull this, and then it expands out 13 feet or 12.5 feet or something like that. Now, I used to use it in a different room horizontal. So I would like a shower curtain, like bloop, against the walls. And it actually held up pretty good. And I was mount my lights on there. I'd mount everything on there. Yeah, not for dancing. Monty says he uses 2 of those, but not for dancing. Whatever, Monty. I know what you're doing with them. So anyhow, so in this room, these ceilings are so stinking tall. There's no ceiling really. It just goes up to the metal beams. But I'm making little platforms for them. So I got some little wood things, and I could probably put one at each part of my production desk, and then hang lights that go to my guest side, that is not it. Where is that thing at? Okay, yeah. So like this is the guest thing. That's not my favorite shot in the world, but I don't really have in-person guests too much. I have a fishing podcast that my co-host is going to come in. We're going to co-host. So I may set them up different, may set them up over there. I don't really know. But back to these Manfrotto poles, you can literally get a clamp, Clamp whatever you want to on it. Lights, cameras, whatever you want. They are super, super dope. I got a couple of them, so you can go check that out. All right. It says, if my uncle's trying to buy me stuff, if I buy you a Guest 2, do you fancy messing with one? If you buy me a Guest 2, I will mess with whatever. I'll buy. You know what? Anybody buys me anything, I'll mess with it. That's 100%. Now, will I get into it hardcore and do all that? Maybe, maybe not. All right, Gabriel, what's up, my friend? What's going on? What's up, everybody? Good to see you. Good to see you. So yeah, this is back to the studio tour. Let me switch over here to this overhead cam. Oh, is this being a pain? Okay, hold on, it's not doing it. There we go. Cool. Now over here is a little desk, basically the same size as my production desk, maybe a tad bit smaller, and that is where this camera is housed. And then I'm using the teleprompter, which is my iPad, as the monitor for that side. So I'm just sending this feed over there. Now I probably could just get another, monitor like I have and do it, but I think if I have a guest or whatever, maybe they want to steer into a monitor. Now this, once again, this isn't a podcast studio per se. This is more like a production studio, so I can do different stuff. Mostly Amazon Live is why I wanted it. More storage space. I can set up shelves over, on one side, like over here. I got plenty of room, even though it doesn't really look like it. I got plenty of room. I could build a shelf there, store some items, build a shelf over here, store some items if I need to. All this stuff is on casters, so like all this is like on casters. There's this printer is sick, by the way. My father-in-law gave it to me. I don't know. It's like 100 years old, but anyway. So this is on caster, so all this stuff will move. That table right there is not, but I'll end up replacing that eventually when I talk my father-in-law into building me a really sick table. But yeah, I got I got a mess in here. I got all stuff everywhere. But yeah, plenty of room to grow, plenty of room to have some fun. And that's what I plan on doing with it, really. I just plan on having a little creator studio. So I can do that. So if you buy, Gabe says, if you buy me meth, if he buys me meth, will you mess with it? You know what? That's methed up. Okay, that's methed up. Don't ask me that again. Production studio is awesome, especially for Amazon Live. I hope so. That's the goal, is to keep everything pretty versatile. Now, the one thing I'm trying out, so one, I took away my teleprompter for looking right into the camera. I might add it back, I might not. But to be honest, this little ZV-1 doesn't really work too well. Maybe I need a smaller device, because right now I got I don't know, it's not the biggest iPad, but it's a larger iPad. And the little tray thing that it holds in, the ZV-1, even push up all the way to the glass, you can see that the little lip of that tray, and so you got to kind of zoom it in a little bit. And I really like this wide shot. Now I am zoomed in. It's kind of like a new car. Okay, so when you get a new studio space and you're trying new stuff, you just got to keep messing with it. I think if you get into the place, for me anyway, where if I go, oh man, this is perfect. This is the setup I want to keep all the time, and I do want to do that. I would love to get to that place, but it just doesn't work that way. I mean, just every time I want something different. So right now I have my camera mounted onto my desk, right above my monitor. It's not my favorite thing when I bump my table or something. Maybe the camera moves a little bit. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe people don't care. I got to go back and watch this video and see. And so, maybe I lose eye contact when I look down instead of up. I don't know. What do you guys do? I know a lot of creators are watching. Are you guys teleprompter for stuff like this? No teleprompter? What are you doing? Hey, what's up, Rich Graham? Good to see you, man. Thanks for jumping in. I appreciate everybody jumping in. It's been a hot minute since I've been on live, so it's cool to see everybody here hanging out. But do you use a teleprompter or not? Like when I had my Canon camera, I loved it. It was great. It was super, super easy. So yeah, it was easy for me to keep eye contact with the camera because I was looking at the monitor. I was looking at whatever's on the screen. So no teleprompter. Prompter, yes, even for talking head. Yeah, so that's my thing. Maybe I got to get a smaller thing because once again, the tray, like if this was the tray, you could see the tray. It's driving me crazy. But also with this camera, now that I have it elevated some, I have a desk chair. This is like driving a new car and figuring out what you got going on. I use my teleprompter, but only for meetings. That makes sense. So Monty, do you have a different camera? Are you like, this is your talking head camera, this is your meeting camera? Because that would be kind of interesting. Maybe a little expensive to have just a Zoom camera, but not out of the scope of reality. Especially when you're Monty Weaver and it's probably getting a brand deal. Let me know, because I'm setting this stuff up, and once again it can all change, but it would be interesting to do that. Chris says Monty has like 29 cameras. I totally believe it. Are you getting gas? No, not today. No. What is that? Gear acquisition syndrome? Dude, I'm not. I'm getting the opposite. I'm getting the sell everything and like make stuff more simplified. Like I have a Canon EOS RP, which is for sale, by the way. It's for sale if you want to buy it. So okay, I'm gonna get to Rich here in a second because this is what I got now. So I have this Canon EOS RP. I had a 16 to 35 millimeter lens, which is like $800, or like, well, I think I paid $800 for it, or maybe it's $1,000. I can't remember. I never used the stupid thing. It just sat in my claw. I used it like on 3 times, whatever. I had I still do an RF 35 millimeter lens that I used for shooting this kind of stuff. And it was never like wide enough. It was, like whatever. I mean, it was fine. Like it was probably about the same, distance or whatnot. What else did I have? I can't remember. I get a 50 millimeter RF lens for it. So I have like all this gear for one camera. And I'm like, one camera I can only use one lens at a time. Like, why do I have all this gear? And I don't do photography stuff. I'm literally just setting up a webcam. So I'm over here like, man, this is a really expensive webcam that I don't really use properly. So I get the ZV-1, and I really like it. And what I love about it, like I said earlier, is just the autofocus is way superior to Canon, or to my Canon anyway, or to the way I had it set up. And I had it fast as lightning, whatever the fastest setting, and maybe the lenses were slow. I don't really know. But this is fixed, man. This is like a point-and-shoot camera. Super great. I think it's a 24 to 40 to 50 or something like that, or 45 or whatever. Super dope little camera. And for the price, I can buy 2 of them, 3 of them for all the gear that I have. So yeah, I'm doing the opposite. I'm like selling off stuff and simplifying. But yeah, and then the ZV-E10, I've looked at it, but I don't know anything about Sony. I just know every time I watch you guys going live, this super fast autofocus was like insane. And I'm watching people on Amazon that are, with Ecamm that are Sony people, and I'm like, this is so crazy. So Rich, you use a teleprompter with your ZV-1 always attached. What do you have? I mean, I have the Glide Gear, I think TMP 100. And if I put that thing on there and I put my iPad, which I don't know what size it is, but if I put my iPad on there, it literally shows that little tray. Drives me nuts. And then I got to zoom it in. However, I've also zoomed in this camera as well, I think. Let me see. Yeah, I've zoomed this one in a touch as well because of the headspace, because of the height of the thing. Now, I would just lift my chair up, right? This would make the most amount of sense. All right, so maybe I just lift my chair up like that, get rid of that headspace. But now listen. So the stinking arms beat it up. So anyway, I get a new armless chair. Same TMP with Lily Put monitor. I don't know what that Lily Put monitor is. Maybe I should check it out because I bet it's smaller than my iPad, which probably doesn't push that tray out so far. But anyway, yeah, man. So I'm having fun. It's been a fun setting up this place, and let me know how it sounds. Is anyone listening with headphones in? Let me know how it sounds with headphones. I think it would sound okay over just watching on a phone, maybe even on a computer. But I'm curious for people who use. All right, I use the Lilliput monitor too for the teleprompter. Okay, maybe you guys are on to something here. Nick over on Bullhorn, let's jump over there, says he loves the autofocus. Oh, hold on a second. Uh-oh, I'm just messing up all these scenes. I had to like piece this together because over on Bullhorn they have two different things here. Let me check this. Hold on one second. No, it's not going to work. Anyway, on the question side of it, he said, is it showing questions? How is this stacking up? I didn't even do all this right. Anyway, he says, how many platforms are you streaming to right now? I am streaming to, let's see, I'm streaming to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, LinkedIn. Where else am I at? Bullhorn, Guild, or Ritual Motion. I don't know, like 6 or 7 places. And I'm using Restream. And then on like Bullhorn and Ritual Motion, I am just hitting go live from those. And I'm also on Wi-Fi. So, 10-inch monitor works great. Okay. So Chris is saying his speakers sound good. He says my chair arms got to go too. It's like the biggest problem. Sounds good on my Apple earbuds. That's what I'm talking about. All right, cool. So I'm pretty happy with the sound. Dude, let me show you guys what I had to do with this sound. Now, once again, I'm going to do Amazon Live because I bought some of the stuff on Amazon. But it's kind of ridiculous because I have this huge room, and now I have like a bunch of black walls, which if maybe I could have done it again, I would, or if I do it again, or I don't know, maybe I'll do white walls. I don't really know. I don't know the best case scenario, but let me show you guys what I had to do. So these are actually, this is a king size quilt. So I just went to Walmart and I bought a king size quilt because if you know anything about sound treatment, this is not soundproofing. First of all, this is just sound treatment. This is just to get some of the absorption of my voice that would normally reflect off that wall and bounce everywhere, especially up there in those high ceilings. This is to capture some of that. So that is a king. This one in front of me right here is a king. And I think I got a king, or yeah, I got 2 queens over here. So anyway, this is royal. This studio is royal. I got 2 kings, I got 2 queens, and then up here in the ceiling. Now, once again, this is not a production studio for customers, or I would probably be a little bit embarrassed. But this is a 20-foot by 7-foot. Let's see if I can get above there. By 7 foot, which this is not full 20 because it's only a 16 room. I plan on doing something different with it, or a 14 room. So I got a little 6 feet curled up under whatever. It doesn't matter. Anyway, this is a room divider that I bought from Amazon, and I literally just hung it up in my ceiling. And then these are also like little smaller curtains, room divider. They're just not really room dividers. There's like blackout sound, not really soundproofing. They advertise soundproofing, but they're not soundproofing. But they do help, and they just literally stop that audio from like jumping around the room or whatever. And then I have some, I'll show you these two. And once again, I was kind of just a DIY. So you'll see those. Now that's a professional sound panel that I bought off of Facebook a long time ago and recovered those. And so I got one there, one in this corner. You can't really see it over there. And then I have one up there, and I'm going to add maybe one more right there. And then I got another one I can put somewhere. And then also, going around the base of the floor, I have just some drum shield pads that they let me use that they just had in storage. So I put them around as well. So there you go. That's how you take a 13 by 14 by how many ever feet? Well, let's say I had a 10-foot ladder. I bet this is 20 foot. I bet it's 15, 20 feet, 15 to 20 feet tall. Probably 15, 18, something like that. Maybe, let's see, the 10-foot ladder goes, 10-foot ladder basically goes right to there. So yeah, it's probably a good 15 feet. And so anyway, I was able to deaden the sound. Now, the cool thing is, this is black background. So if I want to do something on black, like I got plenty of options. I got 3 options. But I don't know, like for people that are in this chat here, if this was your room, how would you have done it? And maybe I should have done that first. Maybe I should have done a video and said, how would you do this? But, when you go to look this stuff up, everybody's like, oh, get all these sound foam pads and put all this foam on your wall. And these are huge walls. There's no way I was going to get those little packs of 50. I mean, 50 would just take up nothing. Like, it would just take up nothing. Like, I'd have to get like 1,000 of those in like 8 weeks to put them all up. And so these things took 20 minutes to tack into the wall. Well, maybe a little bit more, but anyway, so put them in the wall. I think they sound pretty good. And you know how it is with creative stuff. Like I can always grab. I got a couple stands with a little backdrop thing. Do whatever. What is this? Winchester gray paint. Wait, are you telling me that I should paint the quilts? Is that what you're telling me, Rich? If you're telling me that, don't tell me that. My wife would love that. She loves painting stuff, so she's already asking like, "Hey, is there something we can paint?" So yeah, we'll see. Maybe a drop ceiling, but that's expensive. Yeah. So that's another thing. Once again, for some of you who weren't joining me, a studio space for me was like a 3-month, like 90-day goal. It was like a 90-day goal. He says no walls. He said you had black walls. Oh yeah, no, I don't have black walls. I'm sorry. I have black quilts now covering the walls. So that's what made me have black walls, because it was so much echo. It was just reverberating into my ears and creating a loop back, and I couldn't even talk in this room. But once again, the room cost, the space rent is just a really good price. And so I was like, okay, let's just do it. But it was really my 90-day goal to get a studio space to do production stuff in. And now, my buddy was like, hey man, we got this room available. Why don't you come check it out? So I did, and I got it. So, I think it's going to work. My uncle says cover cardboard with felt and then mount them on the wall. Yeah, there's, once again, I did do the quilts, and the blankets. I guess they're quilts, but I don't know. This is a dedicated studio space. Yep. That's what it is, Monty. So come on down, man. It's just for studio stuff. That's it. So I'm gonna record my podcast in here. I'm gonna record, obviously, Creating Daily in here, my fishing show, and that's really maybe the only guest I'm gonna have, because it's not really a podcast studio. It's more of a production style studio, and I got everything trying to be mobile. So I'm trying to keep everything on wheels or very easy to move, so I can create different product videos, do different shots, whatever. But what's going to happen probably is I'm probably just going to set it up and be like, okay, cool, this is it. This is what I'm doing. But I got a green screen. I got an even bigger green screen if I need. I can set it up. So yeah, it's like all the crap that I've accumulated over the years in my garage. Maybe build a quilt fort over the desk with stands. Yeah, right. Well, I think the sound is fine now. What do you guys? I mean, everybody said it sounded fine. So that's good. I'm happy with the sound as is right now. It could always be a little bit more. But yeah, maybe I would, whatever. I mean, maybe, and I don't know if I did turn it into a podcast studio, if I did have like in-person stuff, I would totally do some armchairs, or probably not a couch, but probably like a couple armchairs and a little chair in front of it. And I still have that kind of space in here. So I could easily remove this small table in front of me and put up a little set or even two. And I thought about doing that. I thought about doing it, but then I was like, you know what? What's the main thing I'm doing in here? One, it's an office space, so that's the first thing I'm doing. Client calls and meetings or whatever, that kind of stuff. Producing videos like this or Amazon Live videos. So that's kind of where I want to keep it at. And then I guess if I really, really wanted to, I could set up a couple microphones and go, hey, everybody, come record your podcast here. But that's not really my deal. Let's see. James says my friend had a recording studio. He's like egg cartons on the walls. Yeah, that is a good way to do it. Anything that breaks up that audio sound, anything that breaks up that sound. So, but I think this did a pretty good job. I'm pretty happy with it. I mean, it is a dark room, but I think I can do some cool stuff in here. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But anyway, I think this is it. I think I'm done. I've been on here for about 37 minutes. I appreciate you guys jumping on, hanging out. If you haven't followed the show, be sure to do that. Let me pull my calendar. I'm like, dude, I'm so out of the rhythm. I don't know how I got so far out of the rhythm, but I definitely have. Actually, let me just pull it up on my phone. But yeah, I'm like, I need to get back to it. But that's the thing too, because I was like, oh yeah, I'll do this space, no problem. I'll commit to it. So I committed to it, and then I'm like, oh, I need to move into it. And so then I started moving my stuff in here, and then obviously I knew there was an echo when I rented it. So I just wanted to move all my stuff in, see what it would sound like, and then kind of take the necessary things. So I set the studio up to see kind of where I needed to go with the audio, and then all of a sudden it was like I tore it all down, and then I put some stuff on the walls, and I set it up again, and then I tore it, moved it around, put it on this table with casters, and just being able to push it around was pretty awesome, and go different places and kind of test out the audio in different places. But I ended up in the middle of the room because I wanted this big back wall here. Because if I want to, I could literally raise this camera up a little bit, pull a fold out table or whatever if I had a bigger product to share. I mean, you guys just saw I was holding that. It's probably 7 feet, 8 feet, or maybe less than that. I don't know, maybe 6 feet. That auto pole, and got a pretty good shot out of it. So anyway, yeah. So there we go, and I'm gonna check my calendar real quick to see what I got going on tomorrow. So tomorrow, I believe Katie Brinkley and I are going to be on. I got to confirm with her because I haven't talked to her in a while. But we'll be on talking about something, I do believe. So go and, follow the show if you haven't. Thanks for joining. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. But yeah, I'm going to go back and listen to this. But thanks for all your feedback, and we'll talk to you guys soon. All right, we'll see you then.